Hi, Scarlet Marvel here, and welcome to this week's Marvel News Roundup. Let's get right into it. So, we start things off with a look at the third weekend of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, where the movie made $12 million domestically, another 61% drop. This is not really looking too great for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which has a $190.2 million domestic total so far, and $456 million worldwide total so far. With the drops that it's been having, it's highly unlikely that Quantumania is going to even reach Ant-Man and the Wasp's relatively low total gross. It'll be lucky to make it to Ant-Man's total gross, and if it gets below, that'll be a little disappointing, if it's not already disappointing in how little it's made compared to other Marvel third movies in the trilogy. Additionally, this is probably going to be only the second Marvel movie to make less money domestically as a sequel. Anyways, let's move on to some of the upcoming movies. James Gunn has confirmed that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will have a longer runtime than any of the previous Guardians films, meaning that it's going to surpass 2 hours and 17 minutes, making for a fairly lengthy film, which is good because it has to wrap up all of the plot threads of the original Guardians, as well as some of the new ones being introduced, like Adam Warlock. Now, looking a little further, Jeff Loveness, the writer of Avengers: Kang Dynasty, is continuing to do some interviews where he talks about the upcoming film, where he's confirmed another set of characters who will not be appearing in Kang Dynasty, this time being the X-Men, as he says that they're quite a ways out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which makes sense, as a lot of rumors have been pointing to the fact that mutants will not play a very big role in the multiverse saga. Now, looking at movies that could potentially be made one day, Wall Street analyst Jason Bazinet has hinted that Disney is in the process of acquiring the film rights to Hulk and Namor from Universal by trading its 67% ownership of Hulu. This would be very exciting and could potentially give us the first Hulk film in well over a decade, or the first ever Namor film after his very well-received introduction in Wakanda Forever. I know I'm excited to see where this develops, if it does. Now let's move on to some shows, starting with quite a bit of Daredevil news. First off, Daredevil Born Again has officially begun filming as of this past Wednesday in New York City. With this, The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed that Jon Bernthal will be returning as the Punisher in Daredevil Born Again. Additionally, the same report has seemingly confirmed that Deborah Ann Woll and Eldon Henson will not be returning to the show, as their roles Karen Page and Foggy Nelson from the Daredevil Netflix series. Now, this of course is just a report, not official Marvel confirmation, but Jon Bernthal has confirmed the report through his Instagram, where he announced that yes, he is returning as the Punisher, meaning that there's some stronger validity to this report. Now, What If Season 2 also had some news this past week, with more Funko Pop merch leaking, showing a redesign for Hela, which is inspired by the Ten Rings outfits. This could confirm a previous rumor that stated that Hela and Wenwu, aka the Mandarin, would have a crossover episode in What If Season 2. Additionally, the character who we discussed last week in Funko Pop merches has officially been confirmed by Marvel Studios, this being Kahorti, a Native American superhero making her debut in What If Season 2. She's a young Mohawk woman that comes across the Tesseract prior to the colonization of America, and she will then recruit allies to save her people, therefore changing the course of history. Now, it's really exciting to get a brand new character, a brand new superhero that's never been seen in comics before or past MCU projects. So we'll see how it goes, and her story sounds quite interesting. Getting the Tesseract in pre-colonization America? Who knows, maybe she's gonna prevent the colonization of America. That'll be really interesting to see. And I'm also curious what allies she will be recruiting. Maybe past versions of characters we already know, a la Marvel 1602 from the comics? We'll see. I'm very excited for this. Lastly, while not technically part of the MCU, this past Wednesday, being International Women's Day, saw the release of a 4-episode documentary series, Empower, on Disney+, which highlighted the making of and the impact of several women heroes in the MCU, with episodes focusing on the Women of Wakanda, Captain Marvel, the Scarlet Witch, and Gamora. I actually watched this series on Wednesday, and I gotta say I highly recommend it. It's just really inspiring to see the way that these powerful women inspire others, and really learning about the making of it from every single perspective, from script, makeup, set design, and even more. So give it a look when you have the chance. Next up, we've got comics, with not too much comic news coming out this week. Let's start with the comics that released this past Wednesday. They were Amazing Spider-Man number 21, Avengers number 66, Black Panther number 15, Bloodline, Daughter of Blade number 2, Fantastic Four number 5, Mary Jane and Black Cat number 4, Moon Knight number 21, New Mutants, Lethal Legion number 1, Nightcrawlers number 2, Predator number 1, Scarlet Witch number 3, Silver Surfer, Ghostlight number 2, Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 32, Star Wars Sana Staros number 2, Star Wars The High Republic number 6, X-23 number 1, Facsimile Edition, and X-23 Deadly Regenesis number 1, and X-Men number 20. So a lot of these comics are very exciting. I've looked into a couple of them myself. Make sure to check them out at your local comic store. Now, the big comic news of this past week is quite a bit surprising actually, as Planet of the Apes number 1 was announced as the first comic to be released as part of the brand new 20th Century Studios comic book imprint from Marvel Comics, starting this April. This comes off of the success of the previous Alien and Predator comic books that were based on the movies from 20th Century. Now this is very exciting as we see Disney, but more specifically Marvel, making good use of the 20th Century acquisition. It's quite exciting to learn which upcoming 20th Century properties could be turned into comic books, especially if you're a big fan of some of these like Planet of the Apes. Let me know in the comments below which property you'd like to see turned into a comic book from 20th Century Studios. And make sure to check out Planet of the Apes number 1 when it releases this April. Outside of Marvel comics, movies, and shows, we've got quite a bit of news, starting with a continuation of last week's discussion on art books, with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the art of the film, coming soon, with pre-orders available now. So anyone who's familiar with the Spider-Verse films knows that they are beautiful and stunning in every single way. So if you want to own the art of the upcoming Across the Spider-Verse film, make sure to pre-order this. I'm sure there's going to be amazing art as they explore the multiverse in deeper ways than before, with likely different art styles for each universe they visit. I'm certain it's going to be amazing. Speaking of art, Disneyland Paris has announced a new Women of Marvel art exhibit at Disney Hotel, New York, featuring the work of 6 different artists, running now through April 20th, 2023. Now, I haven't had the chance to visit as I'm nowhere near France, but I've seen some of the art in pictures online and it looks amazing. So if you get the chance to visit France in the next 2 months, make sure to visit the Women of Marvel art exhibit at Disney Hotel New York. And we've got another exhibit that was announced, with Marvel Spider-Man Beyond Amazing, the exhibition, arriving at Union Station, Kansas City on May 26th. This exhibition has been going around the country, and it explores the 60-year history of Spider-Man across all sorts of media, from comics, movies, to video games, and more. So if you are in Kansas City or around Kansas City on May 26th and for a few months after, make sure to check this exhibit out. And Spider-Man fans around the world, not just near Kansas City, can enjoy a new Spider-Man Marvel Legends wave that has been announced, with pre-orders also available now. There are some cool figures here like Miles Morales and a retro Spider-Man, so make sure to buy any of the figures that interest you. Now, before we wrap up, we've got a double dose for today's bonus nerdy news, with 2 brand new trailers for animated films. First up is the trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, releasing August 4th, 2023. The trailer looked pretty good, even for myself, not really a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, but I might check it out as the animation looked stunning and the jokes were pretty funny. But the real excitement for me came from the final trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, releasing April 5th, 2023. Now, I'm a pretty big Nintendo fan, and so just seeing these characters come to life in a movie is really exciting for me. But on top of that, it's looking pretty good, with each subsequent trailer just bringing my excitement even further. So I'll definitely be seated April 5th to watch this film. So that'll be all for this week's Marvel News Roundup. Make sure to stay tuned for next week, and let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on any of the awesome news that we discussed today. Thanks for joining me. Till next time. Bye.